everybody? Happy Friday. I think today's Friday. Where is Miss Hannah? Okay, there we go. I think so. There we go. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's the last day of October. It's also Halloween, so you guys stay safe tonight. And yeah, man, let's get this thing crack-a-lackin'. Let's see. Everybody good to go? Goal was a banger last night. Yeah, goal was fire, man. Very, very nice. Alright, you guys. It's 8:35 a.m. Let's get this thing going, man. First things first. Let me make this chart bigger. I don't know what's going on, man, but I woke up this morning. I feel like death. I haven't been sick this little fall yet, so it's probably about time. This morning we had PCE at 8:30. Little rip, nothing too extravagant. We have PMI at 9:45. I don't think that's going to be too big either. All the big stuff is out of the way. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta. All of those big names are essentially out of the way. But let's go over these charts here. I'm going to go over the future side of things, a couple individuals, and I'll let Hannah go ahead and take over. First things first is this daily chart. Right, we're still bullish, right? There's no other way to put it than, hey, we're bullish, right? Higher low after higher low, you know, bull flag after bull flag, if you will, right? We're bullish, right? There's no other way to put it. Every dip gets bought, quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, what can we do right now? Truthfully, this is not a chart I love at all, right? We know the major demand's down here. We know the major supply is up here. We're trading right here. Right, this is kind of where it's like, all right, you know, something's got to happen. So what I'm going to watch today is I'm going to watch this 26,300 into those all-time highs. I'm going to watch the low of this base here, 26,127. If we can get that failure of 26,200, lose 26,120, that would be a great short opportunity. But long as we are above 26,127, I kind of am more bullish today than anything. So what I want to see today is some sort of continuation, right, outside of the structure from last night, which is 26,125, and those previous all-time highs. ES, I would say, is a lot cleaner, right? We have a very clear demand here. Attempted to fill that gap, and almost did yesterday. Still back below this major supply here, which is 69.30, 69.50. I think this could go either way. I think we could possibly get a lower high here and trade lower. Or, you know, we maintain these higher lows and we go higher. So I feel like today is going to be tricky, right? We have the supply, we have this demand, and we're opening smack dead in the middle. So who knows what's going to happen, right? I personally don't. Yeah, it's Friday the 31st. Who knows? Could we go higher? Absolutely. Could we get a pullback? Absolutely. Which is what we're starting to see right now, actually. Nice little pullback here. What does that mean for us? Who knows? Does a dip get bought or does it not get bought? I mean, two things are going to come from it, right? We all know this, right? Same thing we've seen over and over. We're going to get a lower high and we're going to roll over, or this is just going to be a little pullback, and by open, we'll be back at all-time high. So, you know, it's too early to tell. It is. Ultimately, it's too early to tell. RTY, I mean, I feel like this is the weakest name here, right? We had that all-time high rejection. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Now we're retesting this structure. If you want to short anything, I would say short this, right? As long as we're below 24.85, I would say this looks good for a move down into these lows, right? I would say this is the name that you probably want to trade in terms of downside today. It does look very good if it remains below that 24.85. YM, still ultimately bullish, right? 47,325, same level we've been watching all week, 47,550. Long as we're above that, I mean, this is bullish, right? That's that all-time high retest. Outside of that, I mean, Nothing really to love here today on these names, right? I mean, I do think that we'll probably see a big move, though, just because it's Friday and nobody would expect it. So I do think there's a possibility of a big move, but I truly don't know which way. Big structure here at that 26,200, so that could be a great reference, right? If we're above 26,200, you could relate that as bullish. If we're below it, you could relate that as short-term downside, and that's kind of how I'm going to carry it today. Individual names, we got a lot of them. Tesla failed that major supply yesterday, 450, 455. So as long as Tesla's below that, right, my mindset is I'm going to use this as my reference for shorts. We'll pop back into the supply. That's where I'm going to look to go short on Tesla. If we lose yesterday's low at 440, I'm going to look to go short on Tesla. Okay, so long as Tesla's below this 450, I think it's a great chance that we come back down and test this demand here at 420, 415. So that's kind of my game plan there on Tesla. AMD ultimately is still very bullish, right? We're still above 242, 244. So if we can get that pullback, that is still a top watch for a demand bounce. As you can see here, we're pretty much up and we're stuck. NVIDIA, same chart pretty much, right? Caught a little bit of something on NVIDIA yesterday, but this big demand is still 195, 200, and that's the top watch for longs. Could there be value elsewhere through here? Possibly, but that is the top watch on NVIDIA, is ultimately a smooth little pullback, pretty much market wide. Netflix, very unfortunate. They took our setup overnight. We've been watching this 11:30, 11:50 supply pretty much all week, and look where it happened last night off of a news pop, and we're already fading. So if Netflix can get below these lows, you guys know what to do. That's 1085. What else do we have here? QCOM, swing worthy, right? Approaching that macro break and retest 175, 176. We'll keep an eye on this throughout the day. AVGO, I'm not much of a AVGO trader, but if you are, keep an eye on this 370, 373. Previous all-time highs. If this holds, we likely go higher. So definitely is worth keeping on a watch for potential opportunity. Meta absolutely slammed on top of its head post earnings. Now back below 380. I mean, excuse me, 680, 670. In my opinion, Meta's below 680, short. Meta's below 700, short. That's simple for today on Meta. If we lose these lows, it's good night. We're going back down to low 600. So my opinion is, as long as Meta's below this major supply at 700, short the pop. And that's how I'm going to carry it today. Amazon, extremely bullish, right? Straight through those all-time highs. Extremely strong post-earnings. This is massive, okay? Now, I don't truly think that we'll get a pullback off the open. But if we do, right, 242, 240, slam it. That is your A-plus long setup today. Amazon pulls back, 239, 241. That is your A-plus long setup. Side note, NQ is getting fairly weak here. I'm not mad at it. We'll keep an eye on this. A lot of volume on that rejection, too. 26,200's the most important level to me. Google, I mean, I truly don't want to trade this. It's just too extended for me to confidently trade, so I'm going to remove that. But Apple, yesterday, seen an initial sell-off down into demand, previous all-time highs, held, and we ripped. My opinion on Apple today, and I'm going to show you guys why I think this, right? The fade started last night, right? So if Apple can get below 276, I think we're going to end up back down at those earnings lows. I think that this will sell off today if we lose 275, 276. Okay, so that's kind of my top short watch. I know this is something you guys probably weren't expecting. I don't think anybody's expecting me to watch this on Apple, but I think this is going to happen today. Okay, if we lose 275. Apple loses 275, it will see a lot lower in my opinion. So this is the top short watch. I know it's something I usually don't trade, but I've seen this before too many times, right? So if Apple's above 275, I'm bullish, right? I am. But if Apple loses 275, I am very, 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 very confident in lower. Qs, I'll go over briefly. I mean, we're opening right back into supply, right? So two things are going to happen off the open. We're going to reclaim, break all-time highs, or we're going to get that failure, and we're going to end up back at these lows. So who knows? Because I don't, right? I mean, right now we're catching a nice low rejection, but how does that work, right? Did we just catch a rejection pre-market, market open, we rip? Or is this actually going to see continuation? Nobody knows right now. So big levels on Qs, 638, 634. SPY, same scenario. major supply 687.50, which triggered that initial downside the other day, which was yesterday. And then we have this major demand down here at 680. So those are kind of your parameters for today, and we're opening smack dead in the middle. So this is definitely not going to be an easy day on one of these names. But NQ, as I spoke about, back down into this 26,200 demand. If you're going to be long today, this is where you're going to be long. If we're below it, that's where you're going to be short. I'm not going to take up too much of Hannah's time, though, so I'll let her go ahead and do her thing. Let me see. Hannah, where you at? You here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Should be good to go. Let me fix that. There we go.
Okay, perfect. Honestly, I don't love anything on this chart. I feel like price action yesterday, you guys know, was just horrific on SPY. The chop, I'm not interested in chasing. I've marked out these intraday structure points here just to kind of keep them on watch and see how we react. As of right now, currently, even with the pop, with earnings yesterday, we're starting to fade this trend line again. So if we get back below these pre-market lows, I think we'll just fade this whole pop. Um, I don't know. It just depends. I want to see how we open. If we open back into the 685, I will be watching the 687.50. It intersects with this and with this trend line. So I just want to keep it on a watch. I'm not going to be too excited just to jump into this off the open. I don't even know if I'll trade SPY today. There's just too many good setups on individuals. As far as QQQ, pretty much same thing. Obviously, strong earnings is giving us this push, but we are rejecting the 636 structure here. So if we get below the 633.50, really even 632, I think that there's a big possibility we'll see the 630 psych level, and potentially just depending, it is Spooky Friday. What if we just fade this whole earnings move? I think it just depends on if Apple decides to hold that move, and we'll see what happens as well. I think you said something about data coming out this morning as well. So we'll see. Again, I'm not too excited up here into these highs, trading SPY or Qs. I just don't trust it. I want to see more decent price action before I take these setups today, especially on Friday. I want to stick to these individual names. I pretty much have the same watch, right? Apple, I'm watching a pop into this 280, 281-ish and fail. Like Fel said, if we get below this like 276, 275 area, there is potential for this 274, even the 0.5 retracement 273. But I don't know. Apple just like we made a big drop after earnings release, a big pop, right? And then we're just slowly fading. So we've got this lower high, lower high. If we get below, break these lows, I think we just print in, lower high and fade. So not too convincing of a hold for Apple. Amazon's a little bit nicer. So, I've got these levels marked out. I just want to see what happens. Obviously, I think Amazon's just notorious for, obviously beating earnings, made new all-time highs at this 255. So obviously all-time high 255. This 247.50 is structure. So structure here, structure, and then we also got the 236 retracement. If we lose that, we do have this weekly all-time high level at like 242.50. It also correlates with this 243 382 retracement. So I want to watch and see just off the open. If we get this fade of this 247, I'll be watching that 243. That's a good watch for me. If 242.50 loses, I obviously have this 240 psych, but it's not an actual level. So then at that point, I'd be watching this 235 on Amazon. So there's just a lot of potential here. I just want to wait it out and kind of see where people are taking profit, what happens off the open, and then I can kind of assess from there, see what I want to do. Um, Meta top watch yesterday, obviously just insane weakness. We already have a few reactions off the 680. So I like the 680 level, but what I'm watching here is we're kind of like we made this 650, low, and then we were making a higher low and then a higher low. So I think potentially we could pop and break this 680. And if that happens, I'll be watching the 690 structure. If we pop and this happens and we fade the 680, then obviously that would be the top rejection here. Yeah, I like that. Pre-market high, we got the 21. So 680 is your top watch on Meta. It's Friday, so 0 DTE, so just be careful. Obviously, Meta is a big mover, so I don't want you guys to get, super caught up in trying to chase anything. Looks like we're already getting this fade though, so just be careful off the open. But yeah, I really like Meta. And then Tesla, I won't say I'm super in love with. Really, I'm just watching this 450. I want to see what we do. We get a pop and fade. We get a pop and reclaim. It just kind of depends. But super weak yesterday as well. That 455 rejection just completely flushed. If we do lose yesterday's lows around 440, we have a small gap fill below 438 to like 434, 435. But I just kind of want to see. I think this 450 pop and fade could be a nice move as well. But that's really all I have on watch. Like I said, I just kind of want to watch some names. It's Halloween, Spooky Friday, I think Friday 31st. So no reason to, just jump into anything, but there's a lot of good setup. So you guys just be patient. Let's go into the weekend green. If you guys have any tickers you want us to go over, put them in the chat real quick. It's still early.
We'll check it out, man. Well, I told my dad to give me coffee creamer. Past 2 days I've been drinking it, and I just thought I was like sick or something because it didn't taste right, and it was 0 sugar.
I didn't even know you were a coffee drinker.
I'm not really, but I do when I'm exhausted. Meta, we already went over Meta, I think.
Yeah, we did. 680 is your level.
Yeah. IWM, sure, we can go over that real quick. Gold is cruising for a bruising here. I think IWM looks the best today for downside. Below 248, 247, that's the area you want to watch for a pop to short, or below 244. Get down to the low 240s. I think that looks very, very good. Gold, yeah, we can look at gold one more time. Gold's building, right? We have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right off that 4,000 level. So, if we reclaim 4070 on gold, this is going to go higher, right? So your big level here on gold is that 4070 and 4,000. As long as we're holding 4,000, I would consider this more bullish than anything. What else should I got? INTC, sure. I'll check out one more after that. Yeah. I don't really see anything here that is super interesting. Besides maybe a break of highs. That's about it. AVGO we already discussed, but I'll go over it again. 370, 373 is your level here. As long as we're above that, I would consider that very bullish. Roku, what happened? This is a name you stay away from. Right here. We have, earnings high, earnings low, and we're sitting smack dead in the middle. So this is a name you would try to stay away from for sure. But yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the open, eat my breakfast, and I'll see you guys here shortly. Hannah, thank you for your time again this morning, as always. You're more than welcome to hop on today if you want to. If not, I totally understand. And yeah, man, I'll catch the majority of you guys.
I'll hop on for like the first hour and a half.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome, you guys heard it here first. I will see you guys here in a little bit, all right? Got about 40 minutes till market open. You guys relax, and see you guys back on Zoom here shortly. Peace, everybody.
All right.